Hello everyone. Today we will talk about email as a network application and focus on one of its important application layer protocols, SMTP. Email was one of the first big reasons people started using the internet a lot. It let people send messages to each other almost instantly, which was much faster than sending letters through the traditional postal mail. This made email and the internet itself very popular. Before we learn how email works, let's take a quick look at how regular postal mail works and why email is a better option. Imagine Rev wants to send a letter to Uday using postal mail. He writes his message on a piece of paper, places it inside an envelope, and seals it. On the envelope, he writes his own address as the sender and Uday's address as the receiver. Once ready, he drops it into a mailbox. The postal system picks it up, processes it, and sends it to Uday's city. Finally, the letter reaches Uday's local post office where it is placed in his mailbox. Uday can open it whenever he wants and read the message. Email works in a similar way to postal mail, but it is much faster. If Rev wants to send a message to Uday, he opens an email app like Outlook or Gmail, writes his message, enters his email address, Uday's email address, and clicks send. The message first goes to Rev's mail server, which sends it through the internet to Uday's mail server. The message waits in Uday's inbox until he opens his email and reads it. Unlike postal mail, which takes days to reach its destination, emails are delivered to multiple recipients almost instantly. There is no need for physical transportation. The message travels through mail servers over the internet. The only thing required to send or receive an email is an email account, which can be created for free using services like Gmail or Outlook. This makes email a quick, convenient, and cost-effective way of communication, allowing people to connect globally without delays or expenses associated with traditional postal mail. Now let's take a closer look at the email system. The email system consists of three main components: user agent, mail servers, and SMTP or Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. A user agent is the application that allows users to compose, send, read, reply to, and forward emails, for example, Outlook and Gmail. Mail servers are responsible for transferring and storing emails. Just like we have physical mailboxes outside our houses for receiving postal mail, mail servers maintain individual mailboxes for every user. SMTP is responsible for transferring message between mail servers. It uses TCP as its transport layer protocol because TCP ensures reliable data delivery. It means when data is sent over the network, TCP makes sure it reaches the correct destination completely and without errors. If any part of the data gets lost or damaged along the way, TCP automatically resends it. This makes TCP a dependable choice for important communications like emails. Emails use more than one application layer protocol, but in this video, we will focus only on SMTP. SMTP has two sides, client side and server side. Client side or SMTP client runs on the sender's mail server. The server side or SMTP server runs on the receiver's mail server. Since every mail server sends or receives email, so both SMTP client and SMTP server runs on every mail server. When sending an email, the mail server acts as an SMTP client. When receiving email, the mail server acts as an SMTP server. Let's understand how the three components, user agent, mail servers, and SMTP, work together in the internet's mail system with an example. Suppose Rev wants to send an email to Uday. Rev opens Outlook, writes a message, enters Uday's email ID, and clicks send. Rev's email client, which is Outlook, sends the message to his mail server, where it is stored in the message queue. The SMTP client on Rev's mail server detects the email in the queue and establishes a TCP connection with the SMTP server on the Uday's mail server to begin sending the email. Once the TCP connection is established, the SMTP server sends a 220 reply to indicate it is ready. Then SMTP client sends a HELO command to introduce itself. The SMTP server responds with a code 250 and an optional text. In this case, rms.ca and ums.in are the names of Rev's mail server and Uday's mail server. This process ensures both servers recognize each other and are ready for communication. After this introduction, the actual email transfer begins. The SMTP client sends a series of commands to transfer email. Mail from specifies sender's email. RCPT2 specifies the recipient's email. Data indicates the start of the email content, and quit command indicates the end of the session. SMTP server responds with status codes 250, 354, and 221. The SMTP client also sends a single dot on a new line to signal the end of the email message. SMTP uses persistent connections, meaning it keeps the TCP connection open to send multiple emails to the same mail server without reconnecting each time. If the SMTP client has more emails for other recipients on the same mail server, it reuses the connection and starts a new email transfer from the mail from command. The SMTP client only sends the quit command when all emails have been delivered to close the connection between the mail servers. Uday's mail server stores the email in Uday's mailbox, where it waits until he checks his inbox. It is important to note that SMTP does not use intermediate mail servers to store emails, even if the sender and recipient are far apart. For example, sender is in Canada and receiver is in India. Instead, TCP connection is a direct connection between senders and receiver's mail server. If Uday's mail server is down, Rev's email will not be stored on any intermediate servers. Instead, Rev's mail server will keep the email in its message queue and retry sending it later. If the email still cannot be delivered after multiple attempts, it is removed from the queue and Rev is notified with a failure email. So in this video, we explored email as a network application, its three key components, the role of TCP in email communication, and the step-by-step process of email transfer. If you have learned something from this video, then please like this video, share this video so that more people can learn. Thanks for watching.